Yeah.
Holy cow. Is that live?
That's live. No, you need to move. That was another complaint.
What are we moving from?
Here, I will spotlight you.
Jeez. We're live.
Oh, perfect.
Thanks.
Man, this is getting like super high production. Okay, sorry.
Buddy.
Shark Tales
Woo-woo. Let's do this.
with Andy. Night 2 of the Trophy Cup went much better for you tonight.
100%. Yeah, it was a big turnaround from yesterday.
And it all starts with qualifying. I think qualifying when you did was helpful.
So it's interesting, like, the format, because, like, we invert 6.
I don't really know the format because I don't pay that much attention.
So basically,
Explain.
you need to either win the heat to make it into the main or be the high point guy. So, but if everybody if you start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and finish where you started, the high point guy is the guy who started 6th and finished 6th. So really, like, if you're not like kind of fastest qualifier in your group, you got your work cut out for you. You got to be 2 spots ahead of the guy
win your mother
faster.
effing heat race. then.
Exactly.
Especially
So,
if you're on the front row.
right. So you need to win the heat race or be fast qualifiers. Kind of like SCCT, really.
And I still don't understand that barely either.
So we
Don't get me started on formats.
we qualified 18th, which isn't great, but actually, like, we always talk about being in the sucker hole, and that was not the sucker hole. That was like prime spot. They juiced up the track right before our heat races.
Yeah, so the poor guys in the bottom were kind of starting in the slime a little
Yeah,
bit.
sorry,
so.
Zane Blanchard. Like, you were kind of screwed on
Sorry,
the
not
bottom.
sorry.
Sorry, but not sorry. Yes.
And we don't even want to tell Zane what the plan was for lap 1 of
And
the heat.
Andy was giving me some pointers on how to dirty you up, because I'm like, I don't know how to do that, Andy. He's all, dude, you just got to be a dick. That's what you got to do.
So I think I asked you, have you ever just felt like you were a complete dick on a start or like the first lap of a heat race, and you said no, and I said
no, I don't think so.
there's a first for everything, and tonight might be that night.
Yeah. I
Because
might have-
guess what? It's Trophy Cup, right?
It's
Yeah,
Trophy Cup. Sorry,
right?
buddy. It's Trophy Cup. Like, what are you going to do?
But you didn't have to.
Didn't have to. Was able to get a good jump on the outside, and then survived a couple cautions, a couple red flags in our heat race, but got the job done. And yeah, started from our outside and won the heat. So
And you changed your line because I told you I gave you great advice for on the top that you figured out halfway through the race that wasn't the best advice and you should run the middle.
yeah.
That was good.
I know, and then, like, luckily one of the res, I was stopped on the front stretch, and, like, Matt Minnie came down, he kind of told me what to do. Greg DeCaris was over there. I almost asked him,
So
because
Greg would have just said roll the bottom.
well, there was a whole bunch of holes developing in 3 and 4, or, like, on the
Gnarly.
entry to 3. So, like, you can get around them, but the cushion was, like, right on top of them, so it was sketch. But I was thinking, that I knew the bottom was super greasy, but maybe I could cheat the holes and, like, get under them. Like, I wasn't sure, but I was gonna ask Greg, and lights went yellow, so they needed to push us. So
That
It was
hole or delamination coming off of 4 was gnarly too.
yeah, and
Crazy.
so after the B mains were done, they kind of breathed on the track a little bit, and me and Andy went out there just to take a look at it, because I
That
didn't
was kind
know
of cool. We were
about
like
it.
Ponch and John and Chips riding our bikes around
Yeah,
there.
we were.
Yeah. Here's a little news flash. I'm not really like a dirt guy, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say those holes will be there tomorrow too.
Right.
Those aren't something you gotta fit
Entering
overnight.
turn 3, they were like that the first day. Same thing today, but the first day had those holes kind of developing on entry to 1, like right where kind of the hump is on the exit of the track. So they weren't there today. Like, it was actually
Really,
pretty smooth in 1 and 2.
They got it fixed. Did they just blow it all out, or did they fix it?
I don't know. It's the most bizarre thing. It was the smoothest entry into that corner than I probably ever had here. So
Yeah, they've always got that hoopity
Right.
getting into 1.
Yep.
So
So then last night, Bud Kading qualified 17th, won his heat from front row outside, and he started on the pole. So I qualified 18th, won the heat race front row outside. So I'm like, man, we got a shot at this. Missed it by 2 spots. Missed the invert.
You were on the pole until the B's.
Oh,
I
really?
had the A main listed. I just had to recalculate after the B's, and you were on the pole before the B main.
So
So let me ask you this: if Chase Johnson doesn't pass Henry on the last lap for the transfer, Does that change how he would have started? Would that have put him?
Would have been one spot.
Caleb Henry probably would have been a higher points than I,
That's
anyways.
the 12 car invert, so
So he probably would have been higher points
we
and
went through
been
85
in the.
points tonight. So I can't recall right now one car.
Are you spun out on numbers right
Yes.
now? Like, don't talk to me about numbers.
Here's another thing too: is Chase. I got a text from Chad Hawkins, my old Calistoga buddy, and he goes, "You know, Becker was racing with Chase Johnson again in his heat race.
Like, you were talking about that last night.
How in the hell does this happen?
Oh,
There's
yeah, it's a night
800
again,
cars
yeah.
here, and you're in the same damn heat with the same guy every time. That's crazy.
So weird.
So you started 14th in the feature.
Yep. I dropped backwards pretty quick. Like, Selzy started behind me. He blew my doors off. Like, Devin
Not really,
Borden.
not at first though. You were kind of like for a couple laps you hung with Kofoid in the 57,
Yeah.
and then there was a caution and Kofoid was in 5th and you were in 15th. I was like, whoa, what the hell happened
Yeah,
here?
Maybe I think I didn't lose my map because I didn't have my map yet, but I was a little lost in the beginning of the race. Dropped back a few spots, kind of got the wing angle how I wanted to, and then just kind of decided.
You're a big wing guy. You always fart around with that, don't you?
Oh, I guess so.
I
They
think
were
you
yelling
do.
at me on the last red, like, you need to get it back more. So maybe
You were
apparently I
snug
wasn't
on
doing it
entry
enough.
of one. There was
That was the reason why I didn't have it back. Yeah.
It was, and I mean, I'm not saying you and I's car preferences are completely different, but I hate it when the car gets on the right front.
Right.
And you look like the left rear was off the ground a couple times entering turn 1.
Right,
It
yeah.
wasn't down on the wing.
Yes, like I couldn't set the car, get it sideways because it was like very glassy, icy, like slick
So,
getting
yeah.
in because like you had missed the bottom. So I needed to get the car straight. But then, like, yeah, it was really hard to turn. So I didn't have my wing back because I wanted it to turn. But I had two different guys. I had Little Rod, he came over, said, "Hey, dude, get the wing back." And I'm like, I want to make the turn. Like, I wasn't going to do it. Then Matt Minnie, he came over, said, "Dude, get the wing back." I'm like, fine, I'll do it.
All these
Got enough-
idiots out in the grandstands like they know what they're talking about.
But it worked because I passed a couple guys. I got by like Tim at one point, and then like with 3 to go, I tagged the inside K rail. So
what turn?
coming off of turn 2.
Did
So-
you really? I didn't see that.
So Golubic hit it at one point, and it bounced him up the track, and that's kind of how I got past him. So I hit it, and like the next corner, I think everything was fine. I'm like, all right, well that's good. I just kind of bounced off like Shane did. Nope, like the next corner, like the thing dived down on the left front. I'm like, oh, something's broke, but ended up just popping the tire. So
you had a flat left
had
front?
a flat left
I
front
didn't
the
even
last
notice
2
that.
laps, and
God,
still,
I'm a horrible driver coach. If I can't even notice you have a flat tire.
But we held
And I
on.
was sober.
9th, right? Finished 9th.
Yeah.
Lisa doesn't even know.
Well,
the score doesn't even
you
know.
gained a position.
You're
I think
16th in points.
Courtney did
Tyler
just.
Courtney, yeah,
thank
last
you,
corner.
Tyler, for tipping over on last lap, last corner. That was very helpful for Sean because it
And-
gained a spot for him.
And like, what do you do? Like when you're seeing somebody flip, but like we're racing to the checker,
I know.
like you just keep racing, right?
It's like old time NASCAR, race to the yellow.
right.
So you did your job, you got 9th, and then I think, what did you listen to the race series? Were they saying red, red, red? And you pulled off into the infield and stopped.
Well, I couldn't turn. I was going to drive up the track and off, but I said they threw a red. I better just park it here, and saw I had a left front tire flat. Like I couldn't turn out the exit. I had to do like a big loop, like big left hand turn and go out the entrance.
Somebody hit
So-
the entrance trying to exit the track qualifying last night. Did you see that?
No, I heard about that. Ruh-roh.
So
Sketchy stuff.
16th in points is not a bad spot to be in.
Not shabby. Not too shabby.
I mean, typically not a hell of a lot changes. I mean, we're going to have some heat races tomorrow, and everybody kind of does the same thing. I mean, there might be a couple guys that make some up, and then there'll be a couple guys that go backwards. But for the sake of argument, let's just say you stay somewhere in the 14th to 18th in points.
yeah.
That's going to be pretty close to the front of the main event tomorrow.
Right.
If we don't do something stupid.
Yeah, let's not
You,
do something.
not we.
Yes. No. Hey,
I might
you're
give
part
you-
of this team.
I might give you
coach,
advice,
driver
but
coach.
doesn't mean you have to do what I say.
All right. Well, hopefully we get the job done. And
You know,
then
here's
we
what
can
we
start
can
up
hope
front
for.
tomorrow.
Maybe screw it. Just screw up in the heat race a little bit. Be 24th in points, start in a pole, and then let's hope
If
like
I'm
hell.
24th in points, I start in the B. I don't want to do that.
Okay, what do
You
we
have
need to be, 20th?
A 6-car invert in the B too, so you don't want to be high point. In the
What
B.
I
points do
know.
we need to be on the pole of the main event?
20th, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's shoot for 20th in points, and then let's hope like hell it rubbers up on lap 1,
Oh, I like that.
and just run the
You know what?
bottom.
There's
Don't
only
have to
one
even.
person that likes rubber up tracks, and that's the leader.
Yeah, the leader always thinks rubber down's great. Don't have to worry about going up the
I
fence.
know.
I mean, you ran the bottom most of the time, which we watched Shane in the B main, and he was rolling the bottom really
Yes.
good. And the bottom is relatively easy to do. It's definitely the lesser of two evils. I know you didn't see what was going on up front, but man, those guys were doing some crazy shit up top. I mean, it
Really?
was impressive between Facino,
Rico.
Rico, and Kofoid. They were impressive.
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to have to do that 30 or 40 laps in a row.
Yeah. Ah,
So let's
Here
go
we
for
go.
20th in points, pull the main event, rubber up lap 1. Who cares if it's a piss poor show? Let's get you
Yeah.
a Trophy Cup win.
It's always like a bit like you're kind of sorry when you talk about that in the front stretch to the fans. Like, sorry guys, I know it's kind of a boring race, but it's like, sorry, not sorry. We just won the
The
thing.
bank didn't care if it was boring.
Right.
So I don't want you to think like I'm giving up on you winning the Trophy Cup championship, but
No,
I
I
think
know.
that ship has sort of kind of sailed.
Right.
Being 16th in points, I don't think you can improve enough in heat race points to put you back in like 10th in points.
Right.
I think you could win the Trophy Cup from like 8th, 9th, 10th in points.
Right. And I almost think like those guys almost have a better shot at winning because they're starting ahead of the
A few rows up,
yes,
that's a lot of
and
points.
I do feel like the last few years, the way the points have kind of panned out, like you almost don't want to be the high point guy going into
It's
the
a
main
long
because
ways.
you're behind all
Yeah.
the fast guys. And
Although Rico
the-
did do it the last Trophy Cup we had, didn't he come from really, really far back?
he was probably a high point guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he won all 3 nights.
Rico, oh yeah, Rico was an animal a couple
Yes,
years
he
ago. Here.
was.
Wow. So, all right, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Night 2, bud. We
What's our
put
flip
her in
count
the
up
show.
to? Do you know?
Oh God, that was bad.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
we might
always
be
the
pushing
thing here.
20.
Well, we said if we lose one car, we don't have to run the D, and it was like, how many did we lose out of the B and C? 'Cause it was bad.
Yeah, they tore some
But
stuff up
there's no
tonight.
alternates. You don't like.
So,
You're in the race.
hey,
you're in
Trophy
it.
Cup, be Trophy Cup. We're gonna tear some stuff up here, but all right.
Usually 9 or 10.
That's it from Trophy Cup Night 2. I think the Shark did good tonight, and
Thanks, Andy. Thanks for the help today.
yeah, I didn't do much, but whatever.
Did. No, it's always nice to get a helpful
Of
advice.
veteran advice.
Absolutely.
I'm that guy that you should just do as I say, not as I do. Because if I was here racing, I'd probably run into the wall and flip over, do something stupid like that.
You
So
always say that, but man, I think you'd be just fine here.
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I should come down here and give it one more whirl. You never
Yeah.
know. You never know.
Do it.
Maybe
You never know.
Trophy Cup 28 annual.
2023? No, what year is
Yeah, it'd
it?
be 2022
23.
next year.
You never know.
28th annual. We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe get enough Facebook fans on there and they can like say, "Hey, Andy, let's do this."
If every Facebook view gave me $1, we would have about $500, and I still couldn't afford to go.
Oh, darn it.
All right, that's it. Lisa, turn this thing off of Facebook Live because neither one of us know how to do it. And
Oh, just
Push
finish, right?
oh, finish!
All right.
Finish
Thanks.
him!
Thanks, guys. Peace out.
Isn't that on a video game? Finish him!
Yeah.
All right.
Mortal Kombat.
Nice.